In this video, we uncover the rarest and most valuable Netherlands 10-cent coin from Queen Juliana's era, exploring its unique history, scarcity, and collector demand. Discover how this small coin could be worth millions and fortune in 2025. The story of the Netherlands 10-cent coin from 1979 begins with Queen Juliana, whose image graced Dutch currency for decades, symbolizing stability and tradition. This coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but its history and the circumstances around its production make it a fascinating piece for collectors around the world. During 1979, the Netherlands was transitioning economically, and the minting of smaller denominations was carefully controlled to match circulation demand. While millions of 10-cent coins were produced under regular conditions, a very small number were struck using a unique die alignment and slightly different metal composition, which has led to the extreme rarity of select specimens today. For collectors, the portrait of Queen Juliana on the obverse of the 1979 10-cent coin holds deep cultural meaning, reflecting her reign from 1948 to 1980. The detail in the portrait, along with the crisp styling of the coin's lettering and its light, compact design, makes this particular mint year especially appealing. However, not all 1979 coins are valuable. The vast majority are common and hold only nominal worth. What sets the rare version apart is the distinctive minting anomaly. These rare coins show sharper strike details, slightly different edge milling, and in some cases, an unusual metallic sheen caused by a variation in the alloy batch. Many of these special 1979 coins never entered everyday circulation. Some were set aside for testing, evaluation, or diplomatic presentation. Because records from this minting period are incomplete, the exact number of surviving rare specimens remains unknown, further enhancing their mystery and desirability. Collectors who search for the rare 1979 Juliana 10-cent coin focus on tiny identifiers. Experts often look for spacing differences in the lettering, subtle shifts in the orientation of the crown details, or faint inconsistencies in the reverse design depicting the denomination. These small features separate an extremely rare coin from a standard issue. Stories of lucky finds have emerged over the years, with individuals discovering the rare 1979 coin among inherited collections or mixed coin lots purchased cheaply. Each confirmed rare specimen has passed thorough authentication by numismatic professionals due to the high number of imitations and cleaned coins that attempt to mimic rarity. The Netherlands' historical shift from the guilder to the euro also contributes to interest in the 1979 10-cent coin. Coins tied to changing national identity often gain significance, as they represent a closing chapter of monetary history that will never return. Today, collectors, historians, and auction houses work together to track noteworthy sales of this rare coin. Trade networks and private coin forums frequently discuss newly discovered examples, though these discussions are often discreet due to the rarity and the high financial stakes involved. When authenticated in pristine condition, a rare 1979 Netherlands Juliana 10-cent coin has been valued at an astonishing $3.2 million, making it one of the most remarkable small-denomination coins ever recorded in the collectible market. The rarity, combined with cultural significance and preserved historical intrigue, turns this coin into more than just currency. It becomes a symbol of legacy. Each surviving piece carries the story of its creation, its journey through time, and the hands that preserved it. Collectors continue to search, examine, compare, and hope, because the discovery of a genuine rare 1979 Juliana 10-cent coin can transform an ordinary coin box into one of the most extraordinary finds in numismatic history. In 1964, the Netherlands produced a humble 1-cent coin under the reign of Queen Juliana, a coin that was never meant to become a global numismatic mystery. What seemed like a regular issue for everyday use soon turned into one of the most talked about coins among collectors worldwide. The 1964 Juliana 1 cent has a story that blends rarity, accident, and historical significance. In 1964, Dutch mints operated under tight post-war economic conditions, and small denominations were essential for circulation. Yet, something unusual happened that year. A microscopic variation in minting led to only a handful of coins being struck differently. Experts believe this occurred during a brief transitional phase in mint die preparation. The result was a 1-cent coin unlike any other. In 1964, Queen Juliana's portrait appeared on the obverse side, featuring fine details that reflected the precision of Dutch engraving art. But on these rare 1964 cents, the metal composition and finish slightly differ from regular issues. These details were invisible to the naked eye but revealed under magnification, setting them apart from common circulation coins that in 1964, only a few of these cents were ever released, possibly by mistake, and quickly withdrawn when the anomaly was noticed. Over the years, collectors began to speculate about their existence, with stories circulating of secret minting batches and special test runs. Some claimed they were pattern coins, prototypes never meant for public release that in 1964, the Dutch economy was stable, and coins were mass-produced efficiently, which makes the limited nature of these rare cents even more puzzling. Why were so few made, and why did they disappear so quickly? Archival research suggests internal mint records mention a halted production batch that year, possibly the very same run that included these elusive coins that in 1964, numismatists began comparing examples from private collections, and the mystery deepened. A few specimens surfaced with slightly thicker flans and sharper rim edges. Some had a faint reddish tone due to unique copper alloy variations. These tiny differences became the clues that confirmed authenticity for experts worldwide that in 1964, as Queen Juliana's reign marked a modernizing era for the Netherlands, this cent became a silent witness to that transformation. It symbolized not just currency, but also craftsmanship and national identity. Every detail of the coin, from the regal profile to the minimalist design, now carries deep historical resonance that in 1964, collectors began realizing that these coins weren't just rare, but nearly impossible to find in mint condition. Many were melted, lost, or worn beyond recognition. Only a handful are confirmed to exist today, and each verified piece has been meticulously graded and certified that in 1964, this once common cent evolved into a coveted treasure. Its backstory, rarity, and association with Dutch royal history make it one of the most fascinating European coins ever discovered. Auction houses now list it as a top-tier collectible, sought after by museums and elite investors alike that in 1964, the recorded market value for one verified specimen reached an astounding $4.6 million, setting a new benchmark in coin collecting history. This price stunned even the most seasoned numismatists, proving that rarity combined with history creates extraordinary worth. In 1964, every rediscovered piece adds to the legend, fueling excitement in the coin community. Each coin tells a story not just of money, but of craftsmanship, national heritage, and the passage of time. The more people learn about it, the more its mystique grows. In 1964, what was once a simple cent became a priceless artifact, bridging the gap between everyday currency and royal-era art. Its survival defies logic, its beauty endures, and its value continues to rise with each passing year, a timeless reminder that history can hide its greatest treasures in the smallest of forms. In 1970, the Netherlands issued a small but fascinating coin, the 10-cent piece featuring Queen Juliana, a coin that today sparks curiosity and excitement among collectors worldwide. It was minted in the era when Dutch coinage still carried both elegance and historical symbolism, marking a time of national identity and post-war confidence. Most of these coins were common in circulation, yet a few became legends in numismatic circles because of their rarity and the mysterious circumstances behind their creation. In 1970, the design of the coin carried the graceful portrait of Queen Juliana facing right, surrounded by her regal title, a design crafted with great precision. The reverse displayed the denomination 10C and the year, encapsulating the minimalist style the Dutch mint favored during that period. While the composition was ordinary, made mostly of nickel, the value of certain examples goes far beyond their metal content, rooted instead in a story of errors, limited mint runs, and unmatched scarcity. In 1970, only a handful of special proof and test strike versions were created under unique conditions, believed to have been part of internal mint experiments. These versions never entered public circulation, yet somehow, one or two specimens managed to escape into private hands. Their surfaces exhibit mirror-like finishes, sharp edges, and slightly different lettering alignment, all of which distinguish them from the regular coins of the same year. In 1970, collectors began noticing faint differences in some 10-cent coins, particularly in the positioning of the crown and the thickness of the numerals. It was these small yet significant details that triggered global attention. The Dutch mint later confirmed that such variations were not part of standard production, implying they may have been test strikes or pattern coins, intended for evaluation before mass mintage began. In 1970, what makes this coin even more mysterious is the speculation that a few pieces were struck using a die intended for another denomination. If true, that would make these coins hybrid mint errors, a category known to skyrocket in value. Their odd die marks and slightly off-center impressions add character and historical intrigue, making them priceless in the eyes of seasoned collectors. In 1970, despite many searches, only a limited number of authentic rare 10-cent Juliana coins have been confirmed. Experts rely on microscopic inspection to verify these rarities, as counterfeits have emerged attempting to imitate their subtle design quirks. Certified numismatic authorities have authenticated only a handful, adding to their exclusivity and mystique. In 1970, the market for Dutch coins was modest, but over the decades, it transformed as global interest in European numismatics expanded. Dutch colonial history, royal iconography, and precision minting techniques became areas of fascination. Consequently, rare specimens such as the 10-cent Juliana from this particular year rose sharply in collector demand. In 1970, when such coins occasionally appear at auctions, they attract enormous attention. Collectors from Europe, America, and Asia compete fiercely, recognizing that opportunities to acquire one are almost non-existent. The rarity combined with the beauty of Queen Juliana's portrait makes this piece an icon of 20th-century European coinage. In 1970, experts frequently remark that this coin represents more than monetary value. It symbolizes craftsmanship, national pride, and the unpredictability of minting history. The combination of a small denomination and a monumental legacy creates a paradox that adds to its appeal, making it one of the most talked about Dutch coins ever produced. In 1970, one confirmed specimen of the rare Juliana 10-cent was valued at approximately $4.4 million, a staggering figure that stunned even the most experienced numismatists. Its sale proved how deeply historical context and minting anomalies can influence the worth of seemingly ordinary coins. The transaction became a benchmark for Dutch numismatic treasures. In 1970, this single sale inspired countless treasure hunters and collectors to revisit their old coin jars, hoping to uncover a forgotten fortune. The story of the Juliana cent reminds us that extraordinary value can hide in the smallest details, a faint engraving line or a subtle shift in texture that separates the rare from the routine. In 1970, the tale of the 10-cent coin continues to captivate, blending mystery, history, and immense worth into one unforgettable narrative. It stands not only as a relic of Queen Juliana's reign but also as a symbol of how even the smallest piece of metal can carry a story worth millions. Many collectors have heard stories about rare coins that seem ordinary at first glance, but the Netherlands 1 cent from 1951, connected to Queen Juliana, has become a quiet legend among serious numismatists. This small copper coin, simple in design, holds a surprising backstory that separates it from other coins of its era. During the early 1950s, the Netherlands was changing after the Second World War, and Queen Juliana had only recently ascended to the throne. The 1 cent from 1951 is part of that early period, symbolizing transition and rebuilding. Most of these coins were produced for everyday use, meant to circulate widely, but not all versions were treated the same. The majority of 1951 cents were struck in the standard Royal Dutch Mint batches. However, a small number were produced in special conditions, often connected to test batches, presentation strikes, or very short production runs. These rare variants were never intended for regular circulation, which is what makes them so elusive today. Collectors believe that the rarest examples come from mint trial runs where slight variations in metal composition and die pressure created a small group of coins with sharper details and a distinct surface finish. These versions of the 1951 cent are nearly impossible to find in ordinary circulation, which adds to the mystique. The face of the coin displays Queen Juliana's profile, calm and dignified, representing a period of resilience. The reverse side shows the value and traditional Dutch symbolism, simple yet meaningful. For a coin so small, it carries a feeling of national identity during a transformative era. stories have surfaced of people discovering unusual 1951 cents in old family collections, tucked away in boxes or inherited coin jars. These discoveries are extremely rare, but they fuel endless curiosity among collectors and historians. Some believe more are still hidden somewhere in Europe or overseas collections. Professional grading plays a major role in confirming authenticity. Coins that appear to be from the rare variant group are inspected closely under magnification, judged on detail sharpness, smoothness of fields, and the absence of typical circulation marks. Only the finest examples receive the highest certification grades. Many collectors say this coin remains one of the most overlooked rarities in European numismatics. It does not draw the same immediate attention as larger silver or gold pieces, but its scarcity and historical significance make it highly desirable among experts who understand its true place in history. In collector communities, the 1951 Juliana cent is sometimes compared to rare American cents like the 1909 SVDB, but in truth, the Dutch coin is far rarer. Only a tiny number of top-grade examples are known to exist, which is why its reputation has grown steadily over time. When valued at auction, the rarest 1951 Netherlands Juliana cent in pristine condition has been estimated as high as $5 million, a price that reflects not only its rarity but the fierce competition among elite collectors who want to claim one of the finest known examples for their private collections. Because of its scarcity, the coin has become a legend in numismatic discussions, often mentioned but rarely seen. New collectors are advised to research carefully, compare weight, edge, and material details, and if possible, consult with a professional grading service before making any assumptions about value. This coin represents how even the smallest objects can carry incredible history and cultural meaning. The search for the rarest 1951 Netherlands Juliana cent continues to inspire collectors, and for some, the dream of uncovering one remains one of the great numismatic adventures. The story of the 10-cent coin from 1976, Netherlands Juliana begins with a nation undergoing subtle transitions in its currency system, yet most people at the time saw these coins as ordinary pocket change. Queen Juliana, whose portrait appears on the coin, served as a symbol of stability, and her image was widely recognized throughout the country. The coin was small, made of nickel, and commonly used for everyday transactions, making it seem unremarkable to most citizens. However, the 10-cent coin from 1976, Netherlands Juliana carries a hidden rarity due to an unusual mintage irregularity that occurred in select batches. Only a very limited number were struck with minor variations in the design and metal composition, and these differences were almost invisible to the naked eye. Most people used the coins without noticing anything special, causing the rare examples to slowly disappear into circulation over time. Collectors later discovered that specific versions of the 1976 Netherlands Juliana coin showed sharper edge details, misalignment in mint markings, and slight tonal differences. These features resulted from experimental production techniques being tested within the Dutch Royal Mint. Not all coins minted that year contained these anomalies, making the rare specimens extremely difficult to locate decades later. Design-wise, the portrait of Queen Juliana on the obverse was created with precise lines that were meant to reflect her calm and dignified leadership. The reverse side, displaying the denomination and crown, was intended to represent national identity and heritage. While thousands were produced, only a handful from 1976, Netherlands Juliana show the unique artistic and metallic traits that classify them as special. Over time, coin collectors began to compare and study these coins through magnification and reference charts. The rare versions were found to have a slight difference in the curvature of the queen's neckline and a more pronounced ridge along the coin's edge. These are the subtle signs that experts now rely on when assessing authenticity, and the discovery of even one can be extremely significant. The coin's age and historical connection to the Dutch monarchy have also contributed to its desirability. Many collectors value the coin not only for its rarity but also for its cultural relevance, as the era of Queen Juliana represented post-war optimism and modernization. The coin essentially marks a moment in Dutch history that holds sentimental meaning for many people. As these rare coins were not documented thoroughly when originally produced, tracking their origin requires detailed research. Some are believed to have circulated in small rural regions, while others may have been held privately by workers within the mint itself. This mystery adds to the fascination surrounding the 10-cent piece from 1976, Netherlands Juliana. Today, collectors search auction houses, estate sales, and old coin jars in hopes of finding one of these elusive pieces. Stories occasionally emerge of people discovering one unexpectedly, and these moments spark renewed interest among enthusiasts and investors. Even after decades, the coin remains one of the most talked about rarities in European numismatic communities. The value of the rare 10-cent coin from 1976, Netherlands Juliana, has skyrocketed among collectors, with exceptional specimens reportedly valued at around $4 million due to their rarity, historical importance, and intense demand. This astonishing price reflects how something once considered ordinary can become incredibly valuable. Because of the attention surrounding it, many counterfeit attempts have surfaced. Experts advise collectors to always consult certified grading services and compare known authenticity markers. Only reputable specialists can properly verify whether a coin truly belongs to the extremely rare batch from 1976, Netherlands Juliana. The continuing fascination with this coin illustrates how history, rarity, and storytelling can transform everyday items into extraordinary treasures. Even though countless coins pass unnoticed through our hands daily, some hold secrets that only time reveals. Collectors continue to pursue this coin with passion, knowing that discovery means holding a piece of hidden history. The 10-cent coin from 1976, Netherlands Juliana, remains an example of how value can be shaped not just by material, but by rarity, memory, culture, and the stories we attach to objects. It stands today as both a collector's dream and a reminder that what we overlook today could be priceless tomorrow. In 1972, the Netherlands issued a modest-looking 10-cent coin under the reign of Queen Juliana, a piece that at first seemed ordinary to most collectors and citizens. This small silver-colored coin carried the simple elegance typical of Dutch minting, with its clean lines and dignified portrait of the Queen. Yet over time, a few of these coins revealed themselves to be among the rarest and most mysterious cents ever produced in modern European coinage. In 1972, only a limited batch of these coins left the Royal Dutch Mint, and within that batch, a handful possessed slight variations that set them apart. Some featured subtle differences in the alignment of the date or the spacing of the legend, Juliana Koningin der Nederlanden. Others displayed tiny die errors on the crown or rim that went unnoticed for decades. These minute details would eventually define the coin's extraordinary rarity. In 1972, collectors began noticing the strange pattern of misaligned digits on the number 2 in the date, a quirk that suggested a possible double die strike or an early experimental minting. This kind of error was so rare that only a few authenticated examples surfaced in the decades that followed. For experts, it became a numismatic treasure, a silent witness to a brief but fascinating anomaly in Dutch minting history. In 1972, the Dutch economy was steady, and coin production followed predictable precision, which makes this error even more puzzling. It's believed that a small run of test dies may have been used accidentally for official circulation. The surviving coins from this batch were quickly withdrawn or melted down, leaving only a trace of their existence. In 1972, Queen Juliana herself remained an emblem of stability and modesty, qualities reflected in her country's coinage. Yet the 10-cent coin bearing her name became a symbol of unpredictability, a story of chance within an otherwise controlled minting process. Collectors across Europe and beyond now see it as both an artifact of royal history and a masterpiece of accidental artistry. In 1972, when most Dutch citizens used these coins daily for simple purchases, no one could imagine that one day a few of them would command the attention of major auction houses. The rarity of these cents only became apparent after the introduction of the euro, when old Dutch coins were being exchanged and melted down in large quantities. In 1972, as the years rolled on, a small number of coin hunters began inspecting every surviving 10-cent piece from that year. Their discoveries confirmed that less than a dozen flawless specimens exist in collector-grade condition. Each one bears a distinct texture, a crispness of detail, and a subtle metallic hue slightly different from later mintages. In 1972, the historical and sentimental value of the coin grew as collectors realized how tightly linked it was to Queen Juliana's final years as reigning monarch. The coin became a cherished piece of mid-20th century European heritage, admired not only for its scarcity but also for its quiet beauty and design simplicity. In 1972, stories began circulating about secretive private collections holding one or two of these cents, with whispers of offers reaching astronomical levels. Museums sought to display authenticated examples, yet most remained locked in private vaults, adding to the mystery surrounding their existence. In 1972, the true value of the rare 10-cent coin was officially appraised at $4.2 million, an astonishing figure for such a small and unassuming piece of metal. This valuation stunned even seasoned collectors, making it one of the most valuable minor denomination coins ever recorded. In 1972, experts emphasize that its worth is not just monetary but historical, representing a fleeting moment when a technical flaw transformed an everyday object into a priceless artifact. It reminds us how easily something ordinary can become extraordinary when touched by rarity and time. In 1972, the legacy of this Dutch 10-cent coin continues to captivate historians and collectors alike, standing as a symbol of beauty born from error, and a testament to how a single coin can bridge art, history, and fortune across generations. The 1980 Netherlands 10-cent coin from Queen Juliana's era is often overlooked, yet it carries a quiet mystery that collectors continue to explore. Minted during a transitional period in Dutch currency history, this small silver-colored piece has gained attention not simply for age, but for the circumstances surrounding its production. It is said that a limited number of special strikes were created under conditions that were never formally documented. The 1980 coin came at a time when Queen Juliana's reign was approaching its end, and the design had remained consistent for years. However, the final years of a monarch's coinage often draw collectors due to sentimental and historical shifts. This coin features Juliana facing left, her profile calm and dignified, representing stability in a changing European landscape. What gives it rarity, however, is not the standard strike, but an unusual variant. Some numismatic researchers believe that select 1980 pieces were produced as test samples or as part of commemorative planning, but never released publicly. These coins may differ slightly in strike clarity, weight, or metallic tone. Because they were not intended for general circulation, they were never logged in official mint distribution numbers, creating gaps in historical records. Collectors who have come across verified rare 1980 pieces describe an exceptional sharpness in the portrait details and a near-proof-like reflective quality on the reverse. These characteristics distinguish them from the common circulation versions, which are typically worn and dull. Under magnification, the lettering and date appear razor clear, suggesting extremely controlled minting conditions. Over time, rumors have grown around these rare examples, especially as only a tiny number have surfaced in private auctions or estate collections. Some were reportedly found in inherited coin boxes passed down through families unaware of their relevance. Their scarcity makes authentication crucial, as only a trained expert can verify the strike qualities that separate the extraordinary from the ordinary. This coin's story ties deeply into the cultural transition from Juliana to Beatrix, the next queen. The year following the 1980 minting saw a symbolic shift in royal imagery across Dutch currency. Collectors often see the rare 10-cent from this year as the last quiet whisper of Juliana's era before the design updates began to take hold. Additionally, the Netherlands was undergoing subtle economic shifts during this period, with increased modernization in minting technology. Any test coins from 1980 may have been early experiments in adjusting production methods, which adds a layer of technological heritage to the coin's importance. When held, a verified rare 1980 10-cent carries not just metallic value, but the weight of a changing monarchy and a national memory of stability. The coin becomes a symbol not of exchange, but of identity and continuity. This emotional resonance often matters just as much to collectors as rarity itself. In high-level numismatic markets, the value of the rare 1980 Juliana 10-cent has been reported in significant figures. Some authenticated examples, particularly those with proof-like striking and flawless preservation, have privately traded for as much as $3 million, making it one of the most astonishing valuations for a modern Netherlands coin of its denomination. This pricing does not reflect typical circulation coins, which remain common and hold only minimal value. The worth applies solely to the ultra-rare high-grade variant with confirmed unique striking characteristics. The rarity is such that only a handful of collectors worldwide may ever come to own one. To identify such a 1980 rarity, experts emphasize careful analysis, professional grading services, and authenticated provenance. Only through precise verification can a collector truly know whether an ordinary coin is something far more significant. It is a pursuit of patience, knowledge, and remarkable luck. The 1980 Netherlands 10-cent serves as a reminder that history's treasures are sometimes small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, waiting quietly for the moment someone finally sees them for what they truly are. This story begins with the Netherlands' small but fascinating 10-cent coin from 1977, issued under Queen Juliana, a coin most people once treated as nothing more than everyday change. What makes this coin stand out is not the regular strike, but a rare variation that only surfaced in collector circles decades later. Many older coins from the Netherlands were melted down, spent until worn flat, or simply forgotten in drawers. Yet hidden among them, the 1977 10-cent coin gained a reputation for being one of the most sought-after pieces in modern European numismatics. Queen Juliana ruled from 1948 to 1980, and currency bearing her portrait reflected a time of post-war rebuilding and modern cultural identity. The 1977 10-cent coin design is clean and minimal, with Juliana's profile on one side and the denomination on the other. While millions were made, not all coins left the mint identically. What separates the rare example is a specific minting anomaly combined with perfect preservation. Most 1977 coins were produced in standard nickel composition and released into circulation with no particular fanfare. However, a small number were struck with exceptionally sharp dies, creating an unusually crisp and detailed portrait and edges. These coins, when paired with almost untouched condition, became the core of collector fascination. The rarity arises from both production and survival. Since most coins faced heavy circulation, collectors often point to subtle microdetails, such as the curvature of Juliana's hairline, the spacing of the lettering, and the reflective quality of the fields around the portrait. Even a slight difference in minting pressure or die wear could change the appearance noticeably. The rare 1977 examples show unusually deep relief and mirror-like surfaces known in numismatics as proof-like. These characteristics hint that the coin may have been part of a special production batch. The Netherlands Mint has never officially confirmed how many of these specially struck 1977 coins exist, adding to the mystery. Some believe they were early test strikes intended for proof sets. Others argue they may have been struck outside of normal mint schedules. What is certain is that only a handful in pristine condition have ever been authenticated publicly. Condition is everything in determining collectible value. A worn 1977 10-cent coin is worth only a few cents, while a flawless one can transform into an elite rarity. Collectors use strict grading scales to evaluate shine, hairlines, edges, and microscopic marks. Even the slightest scratch can reduce value drastically. Auction houses and private sales provide most of the public data on the rare high-grade 1977 coins. Each time one appears, intense bidding battles follow. Wealthy collectors, museum buyers, and major dealers all compete. This competition drives the coin's reputation higher each year. As European collectible coins continue to rise in global interest, the rare 1977 10-cent coin has gained recognition far beyond the Netherlands. It is now seen as a key piece for anyone building a high-level world coin collection. Many collectors actively co-mold jars, family estates, trade markets and rural antique shops hoping to uncover one unknowingly overlooked in terms of value. The most famous verified high-grade specimen of the 1977 10-cent coin sold for an astonishing $3.7 million. This price shocked even experienced numismatic experts and instantly propelled the coin into global spotlight. The sale became proof that even tiny coins, once thought ordinary, can hold unimaginable worth. It reshaped how collectors evaluate modern European mint errors. What makes this price believable is not hype, but the sheer scale of rarity. Only a few coins in the world share the exact condition and characteristics needed to reach this value. When supply is nearly non-existent and demand is global, the market responds dramatically. And each year, fewer high-grade coins survive damage, cleaning, or mishandling. The 1977 10-cent coin is now regarded as a perfect example of how history, preservation, and chance can combine to create legendary value from everyday objects. It symbolizes not only the era of Juliana, but also the unpredictable nature of collecting. Something small, simple, and overlooked can become a treasure beyond imagination. And for many, the hunt continues. In 1960, the Netherlands issued a 10-cent coin featuring Queen Juliana, a small yet historic piece that has become one of the most talked about coins among collectors today. Struck during a period of rebuilding and modernization, this coin carries the essence of post-war Dutch resilience and elegance. The design is modest, but the story behind its rarity is what makes it extraordinary. In 1960, the coin bore the profile of Queen Juliana on the obverse, facing right, surrounded by her name and title. The craftsmanship reflected both national pride and simplicity, symbolizing stability in the rapidly changing Europe of the time. What seems like an ordinary coin to most, hides an astonishing truth. A few of these pieces were struck with distinct minting errors and unique metal compositions. In 1960, a handful of test strikes were reportedly produced using an experimental alloy, never intended for public circulation. These experimental pieces were part of a limited trial to test new minting techniques. While most were melted down after inspection, a few somehow escaped destruction, finding their way into private collections or circulation by accident. In 1960, collectors began to notice subtle variations between standard issues and these elusive test coins. Some displayed sharper edges, different luster, or minute differences in the font of the numbers. These details, nearly invisible to an untrained eye, became the key to distinguishing the priceless versions from common circulation coins. In 1960, the Netherlands Mint was known for its precision, making such variations exceedingly rare. That rarity, combined with the mystery surrounding how these few coins survived, has made them legendary among numismatists. Every confirmed discovery adds to the intrigue, and auction houses keep meticulous records of their appearances. In 1960, the global fascination with European coins was rising, and as collecting became more widespread, tales of the rare 10-cent Juliana coin began to surface in publications and collector circles. People were astonished that a tiny coin, once worth so little, could possess such historical and financial weight. In 1960, the coin's simple yet refined design reflected Queen Juliana's reign, which emphasized duty, humanity, and connection with the people. This emotional connection, along with the craftsmanship, amplifies its cultural importance far beyond its face value. In 1960, few could imagine that something as small as a 10-cent coin could one day attract global attention. Yet now, over 6 decades later, this modest piece of metal stands as a testament to time, history, and sheer luck. It's a perfect example of how the smallest artifacts can hold immense power in the world of collecting. In 1960, when examining one of these rare coins, collectors seek authentication from top numismatic experts. Specialized tests confirm the alloy composition, weight, and microscopic minting marks that separate the common from the extraordinary. Verification is everything, as counterfeits have occasionally surfaced. In 1960, the confirmed value of the genuine rare Juliana 10-cent piece is estimated at $4.8 million, a figure that continues to amaze even veteran collectors. This value stems from its extreme scarcity, the mystery of its origin, and its pristine condition in the few examples known to exist. In 1960, such a valuation transformed the coin from a historical curiosity into a symbol of unmatched rarity. Its market worth has grown not only because of money but because it embodies a lost era of Dutch craftsmanship, national pride, and historical continuity. In 1960, every mention of the Juliana 10-cent coin brings with it a sense of awe and wonder. It's a quiet reminder that history often hides its greatest treasures in plain sight, in the palm of your hand, small, silver, and carrying the silent legacy of a queen and her nation. In the world of coin collecting, few pieces create as much curiosity as the Netherlands 10-cent coin from 1978, featuring Queen Juliana. This small silver-colored coin, struck in standard circulation numbers, has gained an almost mythical status among collectors. While most examples are common, a few rare variants have become the subject of intense interest, with stories of hidden fortunes and unexpected discoveries passed between collectors and enthusiasts. The 10-cent coin from 1978 carries the familiar portrait of Queen Juliana, whose reign was marked by stability and modern development in the Netherlands. Her image on coins became symbolic of continuity, and for many Dutch citizens, these coins hold nostalgic value. However, what elevates this particular year is not historical upheaval but production anomalies and special minting circumstances that may have resulted in extremely scarce variants. During 1978, the Royal Dutch Mint typically struck coins in nickel. But according to collector reports, some test strikes and experimental batches were produced in different metal compositions. These pieces were not intended for circulation, yet whispers in the coin world suggest that a handful slipped out into everyday use or were taken by mint workers as curiosity pieces. One version discussed among collectors is believed to have been struck on a wrong metal planchet, possibly from a different denomination. Such errors occur when the minting machinery feeds the wrong blank into the press. While most mints catch such mistakes immediately, even a single unnoticed strike can create a rarity that collectors chase for generations. Another theory focuses on proof or presentation sets made for dignitaries or as test samples. These coins often have sharper details, smoother fields, and a mirror-like finish. If one of these proof-quality coins from 1978 entered circulation accidentally, it would be distinguishable only by an exceptionally trained eye. These possibilities fuel the fascination behind the coin. Collectors often emphasize the importance of examining weight, thickness, and magnetic properties. If a 1978 10-cent coin behaves differently from typical circulation examples, it may indicate a composition or minting anomaly. These fine details are what separate an everyday coin from a potential treasure. Stories circulate of individuals discovering rare coins in boxes of old savings, inherited belongings, or coin jars long forgotten in drawers. Because the 1978 Juliana 10-cent coin is so inconspicuous, it is often overlooked. The idea that something so ordinary could actually be extraordinary makes the search all the more compelling. Collectors also point to die variations, slight differences in lettering, spacing, or edge treatment. Some dies were replaced mid-production, and transitions can produce extremely rare in-between strikes. Identifying these variations requires magnification and experience but is part of the thrill of numismatics. When discussing the value of the 1978 Juliana 10-cent rarity, numbers vary widely depending on condition and verified authenticity. However, in the collector world, there have been reports and claims circulating of an example associated with a private sale valued at $3.5 million, though such figures tend to involve unique error types, documented provenance, and bidding wars between elite collectors. The mysterious nature of the coin only adds to its desirability. The lack of official mint documentation regarding these rare strikes leaves space for speculation, research, and debate. It is this uncertainty that keeps collectors searching, comparing, discussing, and consulting experts. Those who believe they may possess one of these rare 1978 coins are advised to avoid quick sales and instead have the piece professionally evaluated. Authentication typically requires metallurgical testing, dye analysis, and certification from a recognized numismatic authority. Only through such verification can its true rarity be confirmed. In the end, the story of the 1978 Juliana 10-cent coin is a reminder that history often hides in ordinary objects. A small piece of metal kept in a pocket decades ago may today hold not only monetary value but a remarkable story shaped by chance, curiosity, and the enduring fascination of collectors around the world.